Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make sensory bottles out of materials that you can find in your house. You may remember that in school we have sensory bottles in our cozy areas. Sometimes sensory bottles help us to calm down because they're fun to look at. So basically all a sensory bottle is a bottle filled with materials that create a fun sensory experience. So we can do that in a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you two different types today, but there are endless ways that you can make a sensory bottle. I'm going to show you one that's filled with liquid and one that's just filled with dry materials. So you can decide what you have in your house and what works best for you. Let's get started. I'm going to start with my liquid bottle. So for this bottle, I have an old salad dressing container. Now this one is made out of glass. I don't recommend glass for the kids. Hopefully you have some plastic containers around, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. So for a liquid sensory bottle, you can use a lot of different liquids. I don't have many liquids at my house, so I'm going to just use water, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of soap so that my glitter doesn't stick, and a few drops of canola oil, because that helps to create some cool bubbles. You can just use water at home. Other things you can use to help slow down the things that you're going to put in your sensory bottle: hair gel, clear glue, mineral oil, baby oil, cooking oil, or corn syrup. I don't have any of those, so like I said, I'm just gonna use what I have, and you can use what you have at home too. So the first step, I have this water bottle filled with just plain tap water out of the sink. So I'm going to fill it about halfway with water. That'll work. Next, I'm going to add some glitter. So I have a few different color glitters, so I'm going to add some red, some silver, purple, and blue. Next, I'm going to add some sequins that I have. The ones that I have are shaped like stars. I'm also going to add some little beads that I have. Ooh, those sunk to the bottom. Maybe I want some more. Something else I found around the house was a dice. So for fun, I'm gonna put that in there too. That also sunk to the bottom. Pretty cool. Let me show you what it looks like. Next, what I'm going to do is put my lid on and mix it up a little bit. Wow, that looks really cool. I see one of the problems I'm having though is that my glitter is sticking to the side of the bottle. So I'm just going to add a couple pumps of soap because that helps the glitter to not stick. Now I'm going to fill my bottle the rest of the way because that's all the things that I'm going to put inside of mine. I'm going to leave a little room at the top because I want to try adding a little vegetable oil to see what those bubbles will look like inside. And you want to make sure you fill it to the very tippy top, especially when you have soap in there, because now if you're tossing it around a little bit, it will create bubbles in there and just become a bubbly mess where you can't see anything. So it's very important to fill it to the very top. And then the final step, I'm just going to put my lid on like this. For your kids, you're going to want to probably super glue this down or at least twist it back on and put some tape on it, because the last thing you want is them looking at this bottle and having it open up and pour out everywhere. So I'm putting the lid on nice and tight. And now I'm going to just see what my sensory bottle looks like when I move it around. Wow, that's pretty cool. So that's it for my liquid bottle. Next, I'm going to try making a dry sensory bottle. So this is kind of more like a seek and find kind of bottle. You can either use rice, you can use beans. I don't have those, but I happen to have this foily stuff. So that's what I'm mainly going to use to fill mine. And for this one, I had an old ketchup bottle. So that's what I'm going to use. This is okay for a dry sensory bottle because obviously the lid of this open, so that probably wouldn't be what I wanted to use for my wet bottle, but for a dry one, nothing's going to leak out, so this will be just fine. So I'm going to start by putting some of this silver stuff inside. I don't even know what this is called. Foil shreds. So I'm going to start with some foil shreds inside. And now, from back when I was in school, I had a random drawer full of stuff that I would use for crafts or projects. So I found a random collection of items in that drawer. So some things that I'm going to put in my dry bottle are a miniature car, some sort of a piece to a board game. I have a couple of those actually, purple and a green one. I have this random little baby. I have a seashell. And some of these clear blue beads. Now I'm going to add a little more foil. I'll add a feather, a couple of googly eyes, a palm tree, a flower, fake one, a little sun and a smiley face, and a little iron. I think that's from Monopoly or something like that. And then maybe I'll use some of these sequences that I used for my wet bottle as well. And then I'm just going to fill the bottle the rest of the way with the shredded foil. Now this one, it's not as important that you glue the lid shut because worst case scenario, it opens. I guess if you're using sand or beans, you might want to still glue it shut so that that stuff doesn't get all over your floor. This one, if it ended up opening, not that big of a deal. So now I have a dry sensory bottle, and I said it's like a seek and find bottle because I can move it around and see what sort of objects I can find inside. So looking at this side, I can see the feather and the flower. Over on this side, I can see one of the blue beads. Now, I kept this label on just to show you I was using a ketchup bottle, but it would probably be better to peel this label off as well. To get my labels off, I actually sat it in water for a minute and then it easily peeled off and I wasn't left with all that glue. So if you're having a problem with your labels, you might want to try that as well. So that's it. Those are my 2 sensory bottles. I am going to post a link on today's lesson plan so you can see all sorts of different sensory bottles that you can make. These are not nearly the best ones I've ever seen, but I used what I had. So can't wait to see what you guys come up with.